This is Kitzur Shulchan Aruch as we continue, and we are up to Perek Dalid. And this year in particular has been sponsored and should bring an incredible schos refuah shlema for Tinoik ben Miriam Ahuva, as we're going to be learning B'siyata d'Shmaya, the halachos that involve the bathroom, the halachos that involve Asher Yatzar. In particular, Rav Dan Segal Shlita has advised as an incredible schos refuah shlema, one should say Asher Yatzar from the text. So Mirz Hashem, learning the halachos should as well bring a refuah shlema for Tinoik ben Miriam Ahuva. So we begin the fourth parak and says the Kitzur. Yargul ezatzma lefanis ezatzma erev avoiker. One should accustom himself to use the bathroom at morning and night. Shehu zerizos unikios, which is a way of zerizos, of acting quickly, and nikios, proper hygiene. If you're not able to, you should walk for amos. Yeshiv, sit down and try again. V'yamoid, stand up. Yeshiv and sit down. Till he's able to use the bathroom, standing, sitting, loosens the bowels and enables one to use the bathroom. Stop thinking about other things. Concentrate on relieving oneself. Someone who needs to use the bathroom, but he holds it in. Oiver misham bal teshaksu is a terrible avira, making yourself abominable. That not allowing oneself to use the bathroom. Additionally, if someone does not use the urinate when he needs to, also it can make one sterile. We'll just mention that this halacha of bal teshaksu is at a very, very high level. It's at a level, if we look at the sugya carefully, doesn't mean one just has to use the bathroom and doesn't go. It means one's at a level that the mamish, he really, really needs to go. It's on the way out and he pulls it in, a level that could be a sakana, a level that's a very, very extreme level. But of course, we see the care that one has to take of nikias, of keeping his body clean. And of course, this is the first cousin to the Ramosha Feinstein that we mentioned when he spoke about getting up early enough to use the bath, getting up early enough to daven. One of the things one has to keep in mind that if he uses the bathroom, if he needs to use the bathroom in the morning before davening, then that has to be cheshbon so that he can come to shul on time. We continue with Siv Beis, and says the Kitzur, one should be modest in the bathroom. He shouldn't uncover himself until he sits down. And even then, Yitzam should minimize the amount that one uncovers himself. So you only uncover the parts of your body you need to. Because of course you don't want to get your clothing, dirty. And you should be careful with this always. Now it's incredible over here. If we look down at article note number 7, and it just shows us the critical importance of halacha and how there's absolutely nothing that is beyond halacha. If we look over here, it quotes a tshuva from the Igros Moshe, that the Igros Moshe discusses about if one is allowed to use a urinal. And Ramosha Feinstein says that if one's in a public facility and there's the option of going into a stall or urinal, that's better. And now we can understand it because it's a higher level of tznius. And we continue back into the Kitzur. Im nifna b'makayim migula. If someone reveals himself in an open area, she'in shem mechitzais, which has no nechitzais, yicham she'panav l'daraim, should face southward, v'achar l'tzafanebcha, back north, or vice versa. Aval be'mizach l'mayrav, you shouldn't use the bathroom between east and west, because then you're facing towards the Shechina. This, of course, is similar to the way that we daven. But if there's a mechitza, you could go wherever you need. As long as his back is towards the wall. But to urinate is mutter in any direction, even in an open area. And therefore, we'll just point out that hopefully for us, this isn't relevant in a world of plumbing, in a world of bathrooms, because I don't think anyone should be going to the bathroom in just a straight up open area. If it's in a dire situation where someone has to go to urinate, that will be the moment that we're seeing over here that it should be done. That urinating doesn't have this halacha. And we continue. One should not relieve himself in front of any person. And again, what you see for these halachas, that halacha includes everything, that there's no such thing as, just a good idea. And continues the Kitzur, one should not urinate even in front of a guy. One should not use the bathroom. But again, we see that when it comes to urinating, it's on a lower level, but to urinate, even during the day and in public, in tzarech lekach, of course, only if necessary. Why? Yatzar told it back. Of course, it's better to be able to go to the sides and, of course, act in as much sneas as possible. Continues the Kitzur in Sif Gimel. One should not use the bathroom while standing. One should not force himself to use the bathroom too much. Could cause himself to rip parts of his body. You have to be careful. You should not quickly leave the bathroom until you're sure that you do not need to relieve yourself anymore. And again, we see the same comparison between defecating and urinating. If you're urinating and you're allowed to do that standing, should be careful not to. Make sure the urine does not get on your shoes or your clothing. Should be very careful. Should hold oneself by his makam hamila ayin semikuf nanalif. This is the halacha is that one has to be critically careful about shechvazer levatala, about kishoy, about hirhurim ra'im, and inappropriate thoughts. So much so that even while using the bathroom, one should not touch himself inappropriately. But Beisakise continues the Kitzur in Sifdal and also lahar b'divrei Torah. One is not allowed to think in words of Torah, as we see in Siman Hey. We'll see l'chein. Therefore, b'yosei shama. When you're in the bathroom, what do? If that's what you think about your business, your calculations, so you don't come to think about Torah. What do you do on Shabbos when you can't think about business? Think about fascinating things that one saw and one heard. And of course, this is where it comes from, to read such materials, etc., to keep one's mind on appropriate things. We continue with Siv Hey. Which be careful to wipe himself well. If you have even a drop of excrement in the piyat tabas, also lemesh of davar kedusha, and I'll say any davar shem kedusha. Lo yikanech b'yad yamin, and we'll make a comment on this whole sif in a moment. One should not wipe with his right hand. Because that's the hand you tie your tefillin with. This reason, you should not wipe with your middle finger of the left hand, because that's where you wrap the retzuas of the tefillin around it. If you're a lefty, then you should wipe with your left. Yamin shel kol adam. We'll just comment that it's a big point of discussion amongst latter poskim whether this whole halacha applies. Why would it not apply? Because of course we have to remind ourselves, we have toilet paper, we have tissues. They did not. They had rocks and they had items that certainly, number one, got their hands dirty, and the whole process wasn't so clean. And therefore, that very well might be the reason why all these halachas apply, that one has to be so careful with what hand to wipe and how to wipe, etc. But in a situation like we have nowadays, according to many poskim, one does not have to be overly careful about what hand to wipe and how to wipe, etc., because of the reality that it is a much cleaner process. We conclude with Sivav, says the Kitzur. Anytime you use the bathroom, one little job, you wash your hands with water, and you see that over here the Kitzur just says b'mayim. He doesn't say necessarily that you need to use a cup. He doesn't say all the qualifications that we learned by Netilas Yadayim. V'yavarich birchas asher yatzar, and you make the bracha of asher yatzar. If you use the bathroom, classical scenario, and then again the next time you enter the bathroom, you realize, hey, last time I forgot to use the bathroom, and you make one bracha on both. The bottom over here, note 18, they quote that even if you did not go again, but you feel the need to go again, that's the point that you lose your original bracha. You lose your bracha of Asher Yatzar. We should shasa sama mishal shel. If someone takes a lax, if you did shitach lapanos come upon him, then lo yivarech. You only make one Asher Yatzar. However, again, the art school over here notes that the common practice is in such a scenario, note number 19, that you should go to the bathroom even in such a scenario. You should say Ashiyatza each and every time, unless it's a mamish that you're mamish going to keep on going and going and going. And again, siyata the shemaya, the heightened awareness, the halachas of the bathroom and the halachas of Ashiyatzar should be a schos for all of us, as we're Shemer Halacha Kil Chasai, bringing Kadosh Baruch Hu into our Daled Amos, and be a schos for Shleima for Tinoik ben Miriam Ahuva.